What if time doesn't belong to us? What if instead of asking, what does a human do with language over time, we invert the entire premise? Imagine time itself as the frame within which the human becomes an event. From that perspective, time doesn't perceive the human in a conscious sense, but philosophically, you can model it as observing a changing pattern of attention. A human who gives sustained attention to words doesn't simply read for 10 minutes. Rather, for 10 minutes, time contains a human whose internal trajectory is being reorganized by language. Let's trace the mechanics of this temporal perturbation. At T0, the words are merely physical marks or acoustic waves. At T1, human attention encounters them. At T2, these symbols activate hidden memories, dormant associations, and cultural frameworks. At T3, those internal associations alter the person's neurological and psychological state. At T4, this altered state produces unexpected speech, decisions, or outward actions, such as deciding to call a friend or going out for drinks. At T5, those actions cascade outward, altering the person's subsequent experiences and the experiences of everyone around them. Notice the profound philosophical inversion here. Normally, we say, I spent 10 minutes reading a book. Your inversion says, for 10 minutes, time contained a human whose entire future trajectory was being bent by a sequence of symbols. This leads to a striking conclusion. Time doesn't need the word to possess mystical meaning. It only needs the word to produce a difference. A permanent divergence between what the human would otherwise have become, and what the human subsequently becomes. Think back to the example of hearing something unexpected. You didn't plan to tell anyone, but the information entered your mental state, lingered through your day, intersected with an evening invitation for drinks, and finally spilled out into conversation. From your perspective, you heard something and decided to share it. From the inverted temporal perspective, information acted as a temporal perturbation. Once introduced, it altered your timeline, and because you spoke it aloud, that perturbation propagated across timelines. Human A's timeline transmits language into human B's timeline, which propagates into human C. Language is not merely something that occupies time. Language is an active force that changes what subsequently occupies time. It is a propagating wave of altered human trajectories. When you look at it this way, human history isn't just a collection of events. It is a vast, interconnected network of temporal perturbations, where a single spoken word can permanently bend the shape of a human life, decades before its full consequences are ever realized.